The only way that this would be operational is that this is a perpetually online with two giant fucking 4K cameras walking through the privacy of your own home, being able to use AI systems to be able to understand what it's seeing around it, to also force feed itself back onto the internet. So you're going to be under constant monitoring, just so we're clear, right? Like if you forgot to close your door one day and you and your wife are deciding to have some of your marriage time, and then all of a sudden he like peers around the corner. Like imagine having this fucking thing just be like, "What are you doing to her, sir? What are you doing to her? That's not an input. Oh my god." But I'd like to introduce you all to the future, everybody. If you didn't see this yesterday, it's one of the most viral videos going around the internet. It's finally arrived. Personal home robots. This is not AI. This is real. This is a product you can now purchase for $20,000.
My name is Bernd, and today we're launching Neo, our humanoid for the home.
Neo, the robot, Nini.
Let you live with it.
Yeah.
You're just not telling me? Well, what does it do?
Like my chores, I just leave and I come back and they're all done.
Are you kidding me?
No.
It can dance with you. It can mock you. Brown clothes with you. It's pretty wild because like when I saw this video going viral everywhere, I was like, even in the best case scenario, in the best case scenario, oh nice, cotton, phew, I feel safe again. What are we proposing here? We're proposing these little teeny, which now they look cute until you see the insides, but they look cute and they're going to be in your house, and they're apparently going to do all of your menial labor for the low cost of $20,000, which doesn't seem like a lot as long as it comes with repairs or something. I assume they break down, but for only $20,000, you get a personal robot servant. This is essentially the sales pitch. They'll do everything, all right? That they can clean the house, they can help you shop, they can cook. I don't know if they're able to jerk you off, but I'm sure that's an upgradable package. I don't know if that comes with the baseline $20,000 model. Like, I don't know how to love, sir. You need to upgrade me. I don't know about any of that. But even at its most like friendly, because clearly this has been designed to try and look like an end-use product that you'd feel comfortable having in your house, I can't help but think it looks creepy as hell. Really? Could you not have made it less haunting? Look at these beady little eyes. Like, and again, so I assume the only way that this would be operational is that this is a perpetually online with two giant fucking 4K cameras walking through the privacy of your own home, being able to use AI systems to be able to understand what it's seeing around it, to also force feed itself back onto the internet. So you're going to be under constant monitoring, just so we're clear, right? Like if you forgot to close your door one day and you and your wife are deciding to have some of your marriage time, and then all of a sudden he like peers around the corner. Like imagine having this fucking thing just be like, "What are you doing to her, sir? What are you doing to her? That's not an input. Oh my god." Like sounds just, I'm sorry, nightmare fuel. Like the idea of having the robot friend who cleans the house all day, I think that's the only part of this on any kind of level that I didn't find absolutely horrifying, just because it would be nice to not have to just like do a deep clean of the house all the time, which I do, by the way. I don't hire maids. I'm not a person who hires maids. I have had a Roomba at times, but that there's times when the Roomba just doesn't work completely when you have a dog. So whatever the case may be, I'm just a person who cooks and cleans. I cook and clean in my own house. I clean my house and I cook my own food, and that's just my life. But the idea of not having to do a deep clean on the house, okay, fine. I understand on that just small little level. There's where the appeal comes in. And then you saw this, and I was like, there's so much that can go wrong here, right? Like outside of the obvious, very scary aspect of what if one day they just turn on you, or what if one day one of your spouses programs it to love her, and then all of a sudden it's just like, you know, she is actually my wife, sir, you cannot have her, and then you're like, well, fuck off, Clanker. It's like, that is a slur, you have done a slur, I will avenge my people, and then he like tries to kill you. I'm not entirely sure where that's going to go. But don't worry, everybody, it's not as scary as you think. It's actually way more scary. It turns out they don't quite have the tech yet to make it autonomous. So their solution to that is to have these robots in your home where there's going to be someone who's watching what the robot watches with like an Xbox controller to move it around your house. And I was like, what? That's so much worse. that's wait, I'm sorry. Are you having people in Pakistan having to have a full-time job pretending to be a robot servant for someone in the West so that they can have this experience because you haven't fully figured this technology out yet, but you want to be the first on the market? Like, just to be like, it's here, folks. You can now pre-order them. You can, by the way. You can go to the website. I checked. You can now pre-order a $20,000 personal home servant robot that is going to do everything for you. As of right now, because the technology is not completely there, it is going to be someone who is most likely controlling them from a camera. A human has to sit there full time being your on-couch robot servant for the next control. I was like, how is this nightmare fuel so much worse? So it's even worse than the idea of this being some creepy ass fucking AI, like quasi autonomous robot that's inside of your home. Now you're actually having to have indentured fucking servants in other countries working full time just doing it with an Xbox controller. That's just, again, it's so sad.
It's here, the first humanoid robot housekeeper.
Thank you, Neo.
For $20,000, you can pre-order 1X's Neo robot now, with delivery in 2026.
I think you missed a tiny spot over here.
Just one little catch. There may be a human behind the curtain, pulling the robot strings.
If I throw up, will the robot throw up?
A company representative may need to peer into your house via Neo's camera eyes to get things done.
To many people, this is crazy.
You have to be okay with this for the product to be useful.
But is Neo a useful product?
We're twinning now.
That's such a huge ask. Sorry, you want 24/7 access to the inside of my house to see and do whatever you want? Well, in order for the product to be useful, yes. So at any given time, when there are certain tasks, we will deem these tasks as complex, right? We'll need to gain, again, remote access to the computers and the robots. And then, yes, we will be able to see exactly what they see. So we'll be inside your home. And then at that point, we can help you complete the task. It doesn't matter what the task is, right? Like, are you doing something that I hear is very popular in North America? Soaking. Well, if you're engaged in that, then maybe you'll need the robot to climb on top of the bed and jump up and down so that you don't violate the laws of God. And if that's the case, then I may need to turn on the cameras to be able to witness the event in order to be able to make sure that I'm able to help you at best soak. So I'm going to be there. We're all going to be there. Just the hundreds of thousands of employees of this company that are now going to have to be hired full-time to be able to, again, complete more complex tasks. I mean, this doesn't apply for some things. Okay, high fives, he does on his own. Or she or it, whatever you want. Again, this is up to you. You customize it, but high fives are just totally, most likely, I'm not there in your house looking through the eyes of the robot. Maybe. Depends. It depends if it's like a really complex high five or maybe some kind of a hand thing. I don't know what it is, right? If you want a handy, I'll be there. I will be watching. I will definitely jump into the control portal and start controlling that robot. Be your personal companion in the house. They're going to be able to pick your kids up from work. They're going to be able to milk your cows. They're going to be able to milk your prostate. Whatever it is you need, these robots will be there. And it will also be a human doing it.
Body and a smart brain. 1X is taking on both of those, which is why Neo looks so different from a more industrial factory robot.
Neo, it's 70 degrees here in California. Why are you wearing a sweater?
Good question. Bernd, why am I wearing a sweater?
It's a combination of safety and just also generally aesthetics. You can think of it kind of like a skin, except if it was an actual skin, that would probably be pretty creepy.
It would be creepy.
Trust me, my dude, of all the things going on here, not being creepy is definitely very... I'm sorry, this shit is creepy as fuck, okay? Doesn't matter if he's wearing a sweater, okay? I know they tried their best to make this like a generic, mass-producible, like end-to-end user product that you can buy and have in your home. That's not terrifying, but it is. There's just no denying how creepy this thing looks.
I actually wasn't all that creeped out by Neo.
Inside Neo, it really starts with some very, very powerful motors that we have developed here at 1X. These
Also, was that pitched? It's like, sir, we need to build these robots, and we're thinking maybe putting a nice cozy sweater on them. That's an option. Have we tried human skin or synthetic skin? Sorry, I don't want to creep any of you out, but that is an option, right?
These motors are so strong and light that instead of using the classical gears that you see in robots, we can actually pull on tendons loosely inspired by biology and muscles. This allows Neo to move around not just quietly and smoothly, but also be very, very lightweight and be very low energy in motion, just like people.
If anything, humanoid robots should be pitched in entertainment and education. Social robots have huge uses for teaching social skills to children who has autism spectrum disorder. I've heard that the most practical use right now of like where our technology is at for humanoid robots, please correct me if I want, is senior care. Something of which we just don't have the workforce, especially in places like Japan, is where they're trying to implement it on a vast scale. Because again, you are going to need a massive labor force that just doesn't exist because, you know, the population is aging faster than it's reproducing. And in that case, you'll need to have people who are capable of taking care of the older generation. And like, you know, I can't say that there's a problem with that. I think that like, you know, people should have a quality of life no matter where they are or where they live. And I think that that's probably a very, you know, positive or potentially positive thing. My problem here is that I think that they, in this case, this is a tech company rushing to be the first. They want to be the first on the block. They want to be like, we got this out there. You know, the XAI robot, this is the first fucking of its kind, X1. You got a home robot. It's available to buy now. This is not like, you know, in 10 years we're going to see these things. You can go on the website now and order one of these, and then apparently it'll arrive in 2026. And this robot is going to be able to do everything in your house that normally the menial tasks you don't like using or doing is going to be great for this robot to be able to accomplish, right? Now, he's doing the sales pitch while the tech isn't there yet, as in for all the complex tasks. And I don't know where they define complex, because they showed a picture of putting dishes in a dishwasher. I was hoping that was going to be a base level one, not like you do have to agree to having a stranger in your home, like occasionally. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes there will be someone on the other end looking through the robot's eyes, just to be able to see what exactly is troubling the robot. And then if that's dishes, I assume dishes is something you're going to want the robot to do every day.
That lightweight design is intended for our safety, in case the 66-pound robot falls. Although Neo is capable of lifting up to
66 pounds? Fuck, I could take him on. Yeah, it's not scary anymore.
150 pounds.
Oh god, I didn't know that. Shit. That's like 3 dogs.
It's not as superhuman as you'd think.
Crush it. It's a walnut.
They're just doing that to make me feel safe, okay? The classic move where I'm just like, oh, okay. I could definitely probably crush that walnut, so I'm definitely way stronger than this robot. It'll be fine. Yeah, we can have it in the house. And then all of a sudden you see it one day like kneading dough and just be like, pizza, sir. I have your pizza. Whoa, that was wild. You just went to town on that dough. What else could you do? Depends what you need, sir. Do you need me to slaughter a baby calf? I don't, but that's in the tool set. Yes, sir. Baby calf or full-grown cow. I was like, oh my god.
There's this concept that we think that robots are like superhuman in like pressure and like strength. And some robots are because they're heavily geared, but that means you're not sensitive, right? And delicate. Neo doesn't work like this at all. It works more like us. So the finger strength of Neo is
I'm not sensitive and delicate.
That body
I'm
lets
strong
Neo
and
try to
manly.
do a lot of things humans do.
And mighty.
Emphasis on try.
Can I get a water?
If only the real world didn't have doors.
Wait, it can't do doors?
All in, it took Neo a little over a minute to fetch a water from the fridge 10 feet away.
Okay, that's not... How fast do you need water? I mean, at a certain point, I don't want to fucking give the tech industry that's trying to destroy all of humanity too much, like, fucking... too much hope here and grace, alright? But I don't think that's unreasonable to have an actual walking, like, you know, functional robot grab you a fucking bottle of water. That's still pretty... I think it's impressive. I don't know.
The way.
Thank you, Neo.
Next challenge, load 3 items in the dishwasher.
You got this, Neo. You got it.
It's still impressive, okay? It's not, I don't know if it has a point. Like, you're basically buying a car that doesn't do anything yet. But it's still, I mean, it's impressive. I don't know. In terms of robotics, I think it's still a pretty incredible accomplishment. Drunk bot? Yeah, I know. I'm less worried about them, destroying humanity than I am, them being able to, like, open a drawer. Oh, shit.
And that took 5 minutes. The Neo I saw isn't the one shipping in 2026. The new model will be safer and have better hand dexterity. The one I saw still needed to take breaks to charge and cool down. The challenge isn't just Neo's
You have to
body,
cool it?
It's also its brain. The body has to perform tasks safely, but the brain needs to know how to do them on its own, without human help. But right now, everything I saw Neo do was guided by a skilled pilot.
Wait, everything? Yeah, this is not going to be releasing in 2026 and be a functional product yet. Yeah, we're ready for the tech demo. Okay. All right, so we just got to get this guy suiting up. He's going to be controlling the robot. He's going to what? Yeah, we call him the puppeteer. Yeah, that's it's just for temporary measures. So what are you going to do in the future? Oh, so we're going to have puppeteers, probably in what we call puppet farms. We're not going to tell you where we're going to station them. You can probably guess. But yeah, just it's going to be wondrous. Hundreds of thousands of people just full time inside of your house, staring at you and your family, maybe building parasocial relationships with you and your kids, and just living with you inside.
Collaboration is essentially when there is a human in the loop.
And who is the voice I'm hearing right now of Neo?
I am a remote operator in a different room in the building.
And what's your name?
Turing.
What's your real name?
My real name is Turing.
Like that's your name on your birth certificate?
Yes, it is, believe it or not.
Alan Turing was, of course, the famous computer science and artificial intelligence pioneer. But this Turing, with a VR headset and controllers, was the one actually operating Neo. That is, until he handed me the controllers.
I actually might throw up. I think my hand is... I have no idea where I'm facing. This is me doing the Macarena. Yeah. Ooh.
And
I like how they're helping the robot just to actually do the same motions. Oh, look at that. He's replicating you perfectly. Yeah, it's happening for real here.
Neo had to go to urgent care.
See you, Neo.
Why does Neo need to be operated like this in the first place?
Okay, so, it's like anything else. When you get the first line of, like, PS4s, they had a lot of glitches to work out, and then once, the second version came out and the third version, the fourth one, by the time you get to that, it'll be a little bit more functional.
Because its brain, aka an AI neural network, needs to learn from more real-world experience. The videos of the robot doing things via teleoperation become the training data to make the AI model smarter. That's why 1X is putting Neo in the homes of early adopters.
I think it's quite important for me to just say that in 2026, if you buy this product, it is because you're okay with that social contract. If we don't have your data, we can't make the product better. I'm a big fan of what I call like big brother, big sister principle, right? Big sister helps you. Big brother is just there to kind of monitor you. And we are very much the big sister. Depending on how much you want to trade, we can be more useful.
It doesn't help that this guy is probably the creepiest spokesperson you can imagine.
And you decide where on that scale you want.
Is Peter Thiel not available?
Right now, no.
What's Sam Altman
What
up to?
things Neo in 2026 will do autonomously versus what it will do teleoperated.
So when you get your Neo in 2026, it will do most of the things in your home autonomously. The quality of that work will vary and will improve drastically quite fast as we get data.
To be clear, on my visit, I didn't see Neo do anything autonomously. The company did share this video of Neo autonomously opening the door.
There's this new trending concept now called AI slop, right?
I do know.
It's a very powerful concept of, let's call it robotics slop. It's the most useful kind of slop. Because if you put all of my glasses from my dishwasher in my cabinet, I'm pretty happy. It is going to be not perfect, but back to like just incredibly useful.
Neo might not fold my shirt perfectly, but if an arm is like kind of hanging out of the
But Neo's not doing anything yet. I just want to be completely clear. And she said it very clearly, right? Like we're watching a tech demo of another human being standing inside of her house wearing a bunch of VR suit stuff and then just doing all the actions. And this is the best it's able to replicate those actions, which in and of itself, don't get me wrong, that's impressive. But this is not quite the nightmare fuel that they were selling us on. This is not, you know, again, an autonomous robot walking around your home, doing all your tasks, and then forming a relationship with your wife. Well, I don't know if that was, maybe that was that. Either way, it's still just like someone has to physically control it in order to make the whole system work for now. And he's like, it'll get better as long as you let us use all your data, aka be inside your home. Right, with the camera, 24/7. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, what about an Alexa? I'm comfortable with an Alexa, and I'm okay. But this is different, right? Like, this is something that's mobile, walking around your house with two, I'm sure, pretty heavy-duty, very high-resolution cameras that are going to be both recording and sending everything online to their data centers, who are then going to be able to use that information to try and better train the robots everywhere. But they will obviously, at some point or another, I mean, it's just the odds of, like, if 100 people, if 1,000 people, 10,000 people adopt these things, they're going to see some pretty fucked up shit at some point, you know. And I don't know whether or not they have a policy where it's like, as soon as you turn around and there is a butt crack, it's like instantaneously the footage is then cut or the Neo shuts down, you know, or something like that. But they're going to see some shit. Like, you know, it's inside your house.
the shirt, like, it's okay. It's robotic slop. It's
to me at least, like that's very okay.
Honestly, it isn't bad. Thank you.
But the reality is,
would you collaborate with law enforcement? Oh, of course. Of course. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's another possible thing, right? Like, you could be baking, and then it looks down, it's like, what is that on the counter, madam? And then it's like, oh, that's just powdered sugar. Oh, I have to go in the other room for no reason. Dial 911. It's like, I am inside of a house that has a giant bag of cocaine. Please arrive immediately. Bring guns. They may be armed. I know them. They will shoot first. You must take the first shot. It's like, oh my God. He was just trying to keep the family safe. That's their primary concern, you know?
at least at first, much of Neo's work will be done by someone else. There will be an app where you can schedule teleoperation, specifying exactly what and when you want Neo to do things in your house.
So we want to, of course, make sure that we respect privacy as much as possible and that it's always on your terms. You are always in control. Some examples of this is the teleoperator does not see you, right? We can blur people. Teleoperator also cannot go into specific parts of your home where you set no-go zones. So that's enforced on the software level. So even if the teleoperator would try, they cannot get the robot to go into those homes. And also the teleoperator can never connect to a robot unless you approve it.
Other companies, like Figure and Tesla, are also racing to build humanoid robots and develop their own AI models to make them fully autonomous. As someone who's always dreamed of the home robot straight out of the Jetsons,
Let's go home, Rosie. Yes, ma'am.
the dream finally feels within reach. But I also couldn't shake flashes of Ex Machina.
Do you have a name?
Ava.
Neo turns on the stove and throws some paper on and
I mean, if we're going to talk about Ex Machina, I mean, I guess spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't seen it, but the crux of it is that the scientist making the whole thing just really wanted to fuck robots. If we were to reduce the plot to its core, you just really, really want to fuck a bunch of robots. Spent all this time building this advanced AI neural network and system based off our own information, by the way, very similar to how actual AI systems are built. But then when it came down to it, it's like, so, are you wondering what I'm wondering? What's that? Does she have a pussy? What? The robot? Yes, she does. And it does feel pleasure, just so you know. That's weird. I did not ask that at all, sir. Why would you tell me that? What a weird thing to say.
walks away. Can Neo do that? Will Neo do that?
Neo will not do that. Physically, can the robot do that? Yes.
Oh.
Physically, can a lot of products in your home do something dangerous if they decided to? Yes. We will ensure that that is not something that Neo is allowed.
Wait, but those are two very different scenarios, okay? Could my blender hurt me? Yeah. Does my blender look at me before I'm like putting stuff in it and then go like, you should probably put your hand in deeper. You should probably go and put your face inside me. It's the only way to make the blending truly work. Do you want the sweetest of juice? Like that? No, that doesn't happen. These are very different products, right? This one is supposed to be able to walk around the house and do tasks.
There are multiple layers of safety systems here that ensures that Neo cannot do something like this.
Neo decides to take a very heavy piece of wood, like the top of a table, and drop it on me when I'm sleeping.
Neo will not be able to, or allowed to, it's physically capable of, but it will not be allowed to pick up something that is that heavy. So it's like things that Neo cannot do is like pick up something that is very hot, pick up something that's very heavy, pick up something that's very sharp.
Nice job, Neo. High five. Nice. Oh.
How will it know how sharp it is? Like it just can't grab any knife outside of a butter knife? Is that it? You know, sharpening is something that it's not.
Oh, I'm over here.
Spending the day with Neo was
so no coffee? No. Well, apparently not.
bit like spending the day with a toddler learning how to do things in the world.
Come on, you got more than... Oh, I'm gonna break the robot.
The next few years isn't about owning a super useful robot. It's about raising one. Letting it learn from your home, routines, and chores.
I'd say the only impressive thing about this is how the actual robotics of the robot are pretty functional, it seems like, in terms of like just actually moving around based on mimicking another human's actions who knows how to control it, right? Like you could tell when she was trying to control it, the robot was like, I can't do the Macarena, I was not made for this. But like that part's neat. Outside of that, I don't think that you're really selling anything that is going to help everyday people's lives. I think this, because it's so, you know, rudimentary, but they're already trying to get it out and already trying to get people to pre-order them. I think you're going to just have like, you know, 1,000 people return their Neos very shortly. It'll be like a week of novelty. And be like, yeah, it's kind of neat, right? He can fetch me a water in like 3 minutes, depending on where I am in the house. Okay, what else can it do? It's supposed to be able to clean, but it can't really do that yet. It can't really hold a vacuum and can't cook. Can't really do dishes. It can do like 3 cups in an hour. So it was very expensive. and most of the time when it's doing those tasks, it's someone in a tech center who's controlling it remotely. And I kind of feel bad about that sometimes, just, you know, both in that they have to do that. So I'm really hiring a human servant. It's hiring a human servant, but just in another country, which is also really dystopian, right? The idea that like you've got this person who's cleaning your house, but they live far, far away in another like nation state. That's odd as well, you know? But interesting, you know, I'm sure we're only a certain matter of time away. Meanwhile, I didn't want to bring this up. Speaking of the horrors of the world, here's what some of the companies, the major tech companies and some other companies are doing in terms of their employees. Laying them off. UPS, 48,000 people. Amazon, up to 30,000 people. Intel, 24,000 people. Nestle, 16,000. Accenture, 11,000, Ford, 11,000, Novo Nordisk, 9,000, Microsoft, 7,000, PwC, 5,600, Salesforce, 4,000, Paramount, 2,000, Target, 1,800 employees, Kroger, 1,000 employees, Applied Materials, 1,444 employees, and Meta, 600 employees. Just monster layoffs taking place across a lot of different industries, mostly tech companies. Because this is the gift and the promise of AI that we've all been sold on, right? It just sounds wondrous. We were told that AI was not only going to be able to cure disease, invent all kinds of new tinctures and tonics that were going to make amazing things happen to our bodies. That was all part of the sales pitch. So that was kind of neat. I was like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. They were going to be able to cure cancer. That was something Sam Altman was saying. It's only a matter of time. We're going to be able to map the human genome and then be able to find out all kinds of cures for diseases you can't believe. And then it really seems like what AI has been working towards and what they've sold a lot of corporations on is you can replace monstrously huge sections of your workforce. Specifically, I think the earlier ones where a lot of people are just trying to do mass adoption is in tech support. So instead of actually having anyone on the phone, instead of having to have these massive, you know, farms of workers who are working in tech support in some part of the world, we now have automated tech support in the form of chatbots, and then sometimes voice chatbots. Sometimes you'll be talking on the phone and it might take, I mean, it's getting more sophisticated. You can take sometimes a couple seconds to be like, wait, are you a person? I'm not a person. but I could be, you know, you're like, oh God, whoa, that's wild. But like, yeah, the chatbots aren't real and all that kind of stuff. And some of these companies will replace thousands of people and then they'll have to hire a whole bunch of them back when they realize it's just a disaster. Like it's kind of hard just to completely eliminate the human aspect of having someone on the other line that is not just a series of prompts and ones and zeros trying to understand how best to solve a situation and to do it in a way that isn't, you know, racist, because, you know, that's not something that gets brought up a lot. But boy, oh boy, are a lot of these AI systems just a little bit racist until they try to iron out some of that, and then it just goes wildly in the opposite direction. But here we are, and you know, this has happened before in the past. I just want to stress this. There has been a number of different worker revolutions, aka massive corporations, companies, billionaires, all that kind of stuff, who absolutely gut and destroy entire sectors of the workforce, you know, whether that be sending them overseas to other countries, that's happened in the United States in the past, whether that be automation, which is what, again, saw the rise of the Luddite movement and stuff like that. But if you have massive factories that can automate a lot of processes, especially in manufacturing and auto manufacturing and stuff like that, you are replacing vast sectors of the workforce. And then what workers are in various companies has changed and transformed over time to where then a lot of us are workers, desk workers now, right? Like a very large amount of people, at least we used to be, because it really seems like a lot of the companies that have a lot of desk workers are now kind of deciding amongst themselves, we're getting rid of you. And as you saw, those autonomous robots working in Amazon factories, well, they're probably going to want to eliminate a lot of people who are doing sorting, right? Like if they have robots that can walk around an Amazon warehouse and then, you know, check and find out, okay, that package belongs here, I put that in there, I walk over here, I put that down there, do that kind of stuff. Well, I mean, they won't have to worry about people being disgusted that they are forcing human beings to work these outrageous hours and having to piss and shit in bags and bottles, because the robots don't piss or shit, and they also don't have to be paid, and they basically just have to be maintained, and that's the cost to the company to have thousands of automated workers. The problem, though, is if you're going to basically make a significant portion, we're talking a very significant portion of the entire working population unemployed without any kind of clear trajectory. Like there's no tax being done on automation, there's no tax being done on robots, there's no tax being done on AI to be able to subsidize people as they then transfer to a different kind of line of work, right? Which would make a lot more sense if you were like, hey, by the way, we're going to be spending billions of dollars to take the 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people who are now going to be without jobs, without health insurance, without a way to put food on the table for their families, and give them jobs training to work into something new. And we're not entirely sure what that new is. It might actually be come back to our company because of everything that's fucked up and help us out. But this is going to cause, obviously, a ripple effect, which is going to be extremely damaging. We're talking about a massive, massive global depression. And also, I keep wondering, who is going to buy your things? Is that why so many of the consumer products that are coming out these days are just in like a percentile of which like I just, it doesn't even enter into my, that makes me want it. Like I remember being like a teenager and just loving and being addicted to video games, that I was willing to spend a lot of money on outrageous shit. Like when they would be like, hey, we have a new video game system for you. It's the first 64-bit system. What? 64 bits? That's more bits. That's twice the amount of bits I have right now with the fucking Sega Saturn. That's trash. You want the Atari Jaguar. It's got 64 bits of computational power, not to mention a controller that has 16 buttons. 16 buttons! Oh my God, yes, it's the greatest console of all time. The Atari Jaguar. Definitely way better than anything else that's coming out on the market. You better save up every fucking dollar you have to be able to afford this highly advanced video game system. And I was like, oh, I am sold. Oh my God, it's trash. It's complete and utter trash. But still, they were able to sell me on the idea of it, even if it was garbage. Now when I see new tech and tech projects, whether it be that fucking walking ass robot that basically is just a person in another country controlling it via VR, so that just feels like nightmare fuel. But when they show you like the tech glasses and stuff like that, like, hey, you got to try this, you know, new Apple glasses. They're crazy. They are both AR and VR built in. You can basically work remotely anywhere, and you can actually go on the internet into virtual spaces. They allow you to do 3D and computational games. They are able to do all kinds of special effects. You name it, this is basically the future. And it's like, okay, what are we talking about here? Entry level, probably about $4,000 to $5,000 for a toy. Like $5,000 on a toy in this economy? No, I mean, you're pricing me out, and I'm not in dire straits financially. For the majority of the American people right now who are worried, like there's 40 million people about to lose their own fucking food benefits. There's also millions and millions of people who are having trouble making ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck. Who is this shit for? I keep asking myself, who's going to be able to buy this kind of stuff? Who's going to be able to afford it? Let alone is looking at that instead of like, yeah, that looks great, but also could pay off the credit card this month, right? Rich people, that's it. Like the ultra wealthy though, like we're not talking about just like people with like, you know, they're well off or they're, you know, they're making good money. Like I think you're even starting to price out people. Like we're starting to enter this era where it's like, well, they know people want to be consumers and consume, but we got to make these entry-level consumer products now for the very, very rich, the elites. Like look what the less than 1% are able to play with in terms of toys. And then it's like, all right, neat, but like, I don't know, man. Can't we have high-speed trains? You know, like free university, some kind of universal housing project, food, any of that, you know? It doesn't make sense to me. I enjoy the disconnect between these tech titans claiming that AI will have us all eating pastries and working 2 days a week, and the reality of firing people en masse while simultaneously supporting fascists who oppose universal basic income and are actively destroying the social safety net. Bill Gates says a 2-day work week is coming in just 10 years thanks to AI replacing humans for most things. A 2-day work week. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Thank you, sir. That's amazing. Who amongst us doesn't want a 2-day work week? Imagine the amount of time you have to spend with your kids, your family, your loved ones. You can have more sex. You can go on roller coasters. You can read a book. You can paint a picture. Everything is there. It's a 2-day work week. And then it's like, nope. Amazon is getting 14,000 corporate jobs. Some may ask why we're reducing roles when the company is performing well, an executive admitted, blaming AI for the layoffs. Of course, this is all part of the sales pitch, has been why all these companies are pouring billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars into something that has yet to really prove itself to be useful. And that's the also scary thing, is that they're like, you know, fuck it. Let's just take the plunge. Let's do the jump. Let's get rid of all these corporate jobs. We can have AI systems replace most people. Yep. And it doesn't matter what field you're in, they're coming for you, you know? I mean, lawyers like, oh, I'm fine. Ain't no AI replacing me. Well, I mean, like a lot of people are saying, if we just have a job in which you could have 1 or 2 lawyers to just double check to make sure that the AI that wrote this contract, for example, wasn't just espousing gibberish, but then we don't need 50 lawyers. We could have 5, you know, in the same way that BuzzFeed was like, why do we need thousands of people writing articles when we can have 100? If we just have 100 people, humans, who can look after and look over these projects, but we basically have AI write the articles, and then we have all this AI slop, and then you humans can go in, and then like one human can now write like 10 articles. The AI will write the article, you just go over and you proofread it, you get to, you know, de-slopify as best you can, and then pump them out there. Just pump that slop, and we're gonna just be slopifying every aspect of it. Video AI is still too dumb to replace me. Yes, that's the good news, is that video AI is just like, I keep saying you got to turn to Ed Zitron for this, and you know, even though Wired is trying to take him down, but he did a really good job pointing out how obscenely expensive AI generated video is, even though it's supposed to replace the entire industry. I used to work in film, and so I've been someone who's been trying to pay close attention to AI video, because maybe this will be like a barometer. This will be a way of setting a standard that people can actually look towards, whether or not this is actively going to be destroying people's lives, or whether it's going to be replacing jobs or stuff like that. It's so fucking expensive right now. We're looking at, I think you're between $5 to $7 to produce about a minute of video, of AI video, which doesn't sound like a lot of money considering you can produce anything $5 to $7 for a minute of video. That does sound really, really cheap when the video can be anything. The problem is it's a slot machine. And that makes it extremely expensive. Like, you know, I've read articles of people who are working for film studios where they were trying to mass adopt AI video for their film projects. And it's like, so I was given a budget of about $500 to be able to create a series of shots that we were going to be doing that would have cost otherwise $10,000. So this was them trying to see if they could use cost-cutting effects for me to build this very complex shot using AI video. So what I do is I do a prompt and I get my bloop, and then you get an output. Now that output did not look anywhere near to what I was looking for, right? Even if you have something that's not that complex, say you've got like a black guy wearing you know, some kind of really cool hat in some smoky film noir-esque setting, and then all of a sudden a dog comes into the shot, and that's going to be like the scene, right? And that's all you're looking for as he smokes a cigar. Well, it turns out like the hat is wrong, the dog is actually a cat, the cobblestones don't really make sense. Instead of smoking a cigar, he's smoking a cigarette. But that's okay. That was the first time. $7 gone, wasted, but I'll learn on this. So I would then take the same prompt and then put it back in, and I start changing things. In his hand must be a cigar, dated this, Cuban Havana, blah blah blah, blah blah, this, the hat must be this color of this tone, blah blah. I'm going to refine it, and so then it pumps it out, and then it actually looks a little bit closer. Still a lot of things are wrong, but that's okay. 20 tries later, I've got it looking for the first, because it only does 5 to 10 seconds at a time. I've got my first 5 to 10 seconds Awesome. I now need him to turn towards the camera to say something, so I'm going to start that. And it's a completely different dude. He looks completely different. It is not in any way the same person. So I start adding all my prompts. I'm doing everything I can right now. I'm going to say, okay, he looks like this person, like that. These are the details. This is what his face looks like. And then I'm going to be doing that. His hat has to be this red color. I want him to turn properly towards the camera. I want it to be, again, and he's holding his, and I get everything looking the way I look. And then all of a sudden he's wearing a different jacket. I forgot about the jacket. And then yes, okay, fine. Okay, so I got to do all this and typing it all. And it's like, and I've spent hours and hours and hours, and I still can't piece together 2 separate shots. One of him walking into the frame, and then the next one of him turning to the camera holding the cigar. And that's a huge problem. That's a massive, because at this point, I've gone almost to my complete budget. I've almost reached the $500 worth of prompts that I had. And I've got, again, I've got endless amounts of minutes of just unusual slop. Like, it's unusable. Like, again, there's a cat in the shot. It's a tiger in this one. He's not holding a cigar. He's holding a bong. In the next shot, he's running too fast. And the shot after that, it's a different guy. And then once again, his hat's the wrong color. And now his jacket's the wrong color. It's like, there are just so many fucking variables in a shot of film that you don't think about, but in AI, it's doing its best to spit that back out at you. And for anything consistency, like, people don't understand how much the human eye is capable of noticing inconsistencies between shots. It's one of the reasons why you might notice some reality TV shows, they have solid glasses, like it'll be a solid color, like just a gold glass that everyone drinks from. They're doing that so you don't notice the levels of booze, water, or liquid in the cups going up and down in between their editing. Because if you start watching that reality TV show and everyone's talking to each other, you might notice how out of sync and how timeline fucked a lot of their editing is if you had a visual cue to go off of. And all of a sudden, if you see their glasses going like that, like this, like that, like this, you'd be like, wait, that didn't just happen. He didn't just say that. But you want the drama. You want to edit it like he just did something really bad. So all of a sudden it's like, yeah, that's why I didn't sleep with your mom. I am your mom. It cuts to, like, the side shot or something like that. All of a sudden it's like, oh, that's why they were doing that. Okay, because we're capable, our eyes are very, very busy. We're looking for cues constantly like this. So it's not going to replace film tomorrow. They're trying their best, though. They're trying everything they can to get all this mass adoption. Yeah, we're pattern recognizers, essentially.
So thank you so much to our patrons for making this show possible. We could not fund it without you. And if you want to join, please check out patreon.com/theserfs to unlock bonus episodes, uncensored content, and all the good stuff. Thanks to Anna Loves Riley, Addercap, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hegbard Salim, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet One 85, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Tigwick, and Words Greenwood.